My name is Dan Dorval, and I'm President and CEO of Dorval and Cherney Financial Advisors. I am an independent certified financial planner and author of my book, Financial Success for the Rest of Us, Reality-Based Financial Planning for Mainstream America.
Hi, my name is Leah Woodley. I'm an associate financial advisor with Dorval and Cherney Financial Advisors. Our conversations discuss what it means to do quality of life planning in all areas of your life.
Dan, it's that time again. We get to recognize another Quality of Life Nurse Award recipient. Why don't you tell us about her?
Well, this month's winner is Amanda Richardson. She is an Alina nurse from our local area. She was actually nominated by one of our prior winners. And so she had a very glowing endorsement as far as a nomination, and we are looking forward to presenting her with this award.
Awesome. Well, let's bring her on.
Hi,
Hi, Amanda. How are you?
good. How are you?
Good. Well, once again, congratulations on being our Quality of Life Nurse Award recipient.
Thank you. I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome.
Well, Claire nominated you and had some very nice things to say. And so we sponsor this award. We've done this for a long time. We work with thousands of nurses through our M&A agreement, and we really want to value the idea that you provide quality of life to patients and coworkers and all the people around you. So congratulations on winning this award. And just why don't you give us a little background on kind of what it's like being a nurse and some of the things you do to try to improve quality of life for your patients.
Sure. I've been a nurse I worked in long-term care for 2 years as an LPN. And then I got my bachelor's degree and started working at St. Francis. And I've really loved it there. I actually worked there because I was a patient at one point. And I loved the care that I received. So I have been there for almost 3 years. And I love working there. I love my coworkers. Our patients are wonderful. Um, I love the opportunity to get to know people and kind of work with them and change our patients' outcomes and, provide whole patient care as best as we can. So, yeah.
So do you find challenges? You talk about like getting to know your patients,
Mhm.
and we hear a lot of nurses talk about the demands on your time are only getting bigger. You
Yeah.
have to take more patients and more patients, and then of
Yeah.
course you got documentation and you got all the different things that you have to do.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about those challenges of just how do I still make that patient feel like I see them, I hear them, they're a real person, I'm not just rushing through this. Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. I do agree that as a nurse, we do tend to become a little bit more task oriented than sometimes patient oriented. I just think that sitting down with patients when I'm doing my assessment or getting to know them at first, I think a lot of nurses come in and say like, okay, I'm going to get your vitals, I'm going to do this and that, and then I'm going to leave. I think I usually pull up a chair, honestly, and say like, what are our goals? What are we looking to do? I work in labor now, so that's pretty great. I love to get to know their like birth plans and what they expect and what they like and don't like. If they plan to have a more natural birth or if they want, a medicated birth. Sorry, my cat's kind of doing things in the background here. I just like to build a little bit more trust and rapport with my patients, and I think sitting down and taking that time to kind of get to know and like go over things a little bit more, ask more in-depth questions of what they anticipate or what their preferences are, kind of gets that job done a little bit better. There are challenges with that sometimes. I think my phone rings a lot and then patients are like, oh, she has to go, she has to leave. But I think taking the time and saying like, nope, I'm with you right now. They'll wait. The phone will still be there when I'm done kind of thing. People tend to appreciate that, and I feel like I get a little bit more trust that way.
And so how about just like, your coworkers
Mhm.
and supporting each other in these challenges of there's more demands and you still want
Yeah.
to spend time with your patients. How do you support each other and work through that process?
I think time management is a big piece of that. I learned that pretty well when I was on the medical surgical floor. Being task oriented, but also like having that patient trust, like I'm here with you, but also, you know, getting things done quickly while also talking through it and letting patients know where we're at, kind of thing. And I love to teach. I love to teach my coworkers new things and teach my patients new things and walk people through things. Um, and I feel like that really supports my coworkers on our unit. If I know a skill, I love to teach my coworkers that skill. Being on family birth, a lot of my coworkers don't have the same experience that I have on med-surg. Like I can do ultrasound IVs and all of my coworkers think, "Oh, that's so cool. I wish I could do that." But I'm like, "I'll teach you." I love I love to go through things and try to better not only my practice but everybody else's practice. And you know, the things that I think work, I love to like tell people like, "Oh, this has worked for me in the past. Why don't we try this way?" There's, you know, more than two ways to get to point A to point B.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. One
Yeah.
question we would like to ask is if you can help other nurses improve their, if you can help give advice to other nurses on improving the quality of life of
Mhm.
their patients or their coworkers or others in
Yeah.
general, what advice would you give?
I would say to keep trying and keep asking questions. If something doesn't work at first, there's always another way, and there's always somebody who knows like a different way to go about something. Like I said, being new to like the labor side of nursing, I ask a lot of questions and I ask a lot of different people different questions. Because there are more than one ways to, you know, manage the human body. It's very, everybody's different. Everybody has different quirks. So it's good to, yeah, keep trying different things and ask different questions.
Being curious is good life
Yes.
advice
Yes.
in general,
Yes.
understanding that everybody's different. So
Mhm.
we appreciate you taking this time to have this conversation. I think you're a fantastic award winner. We do have a cash award of $500 that we will be sending out to you.
Yeah, I didn't know that this was honestly a thing. So it's really nice to hear about, honestly.
Usually when we reach out, people think it's a scam or
Yeah, I kind of did. I had to text Claire and I was going, "Did you nominate me for something?" So,
Yeah,
yeah.
all right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank
thank
you guys.
you.
I appreciate your time. Oh,
Oh,
Cameo by the cat.
no kidding.
all
Have
right.
a good
Bye.
afternoon.
You too. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.